The work is everything you've ever learned in acting applied. Stay on. Legit. Awesome. All right. So going back to the Actors Abyss. So the work, right? So what's the work? The work is literally this. And if you have a pen and pencil, write this shit down. The work is everything you've ever learned in acting up until today applied. I'll give you an example. About 2 years ago, I read the book, The Linden Technique. Highly recommended. Great technique. She has about 10, 15 steps. I forget exactly how many steps, but there's like a 15-step thing, right? Massive. It's pretty good. I love her. I love it to death. I wrote this down. Wrote it down. My own. I wrote the techniques that I wrote most of them down, right? All the techniques that I think was great. Like for example, one of them is, what is the scene about? Very simply, what is the scene about? You read the scene. What's it about? Now, don't go re-paraphrasing it. Just, what is it about for you? Or what is it about? Someone selling a beer. Someone hacking into the software. Someone breaking up with someone. What's the scene about, right? So that's just one. She has like 15 steps. I took 10 steps that I feel are solid. A few other steps that I made, I'll have them in there, but I have them asterisk. Like, I don't really feel too comfortable using them for whatever reason. Maybe it's not my preference. Maybe I don't like going down that route. Like, I think one of them is here it is. Read the actions in the entirety, what you're doing and feeling, right? So maybe I don't like to read the actions. For me, that's just for me. I know that doesn't really work with my style of acting, right? For whatever reason. So I have the Linden Technique. So I prepped 10 and I've made my own thing. Then I'll use other things that I've learned from other classes, right? So like Meisner training, right? Sanford Meisner, early on with the method. Moments, repetition, right? Playing moments to moments. What is he saying? What am I feeling? What is she saying? What am I feeling? The pinch and the out. If I go pinch, ow, it's so reflective that you don't have to think. Someone says to me, I love you. My first response, okay, whatever. I wasn't ready for that. Or maybe I love you. I love you too, right? I love you. Whatever the first response moment. So you put that into your script. You put that into your work, right? Okay, so I do my Linden technique. I got my first line, my key line, my what's the scene about. Each person has a thoughts, right? I'm adding all this to the thing, right? So these are my thoughts, right? I'm doing Linden technique here. Then I'll add Meisner when I'm performing it, right? I'm going to put that into the performance, and then maybe I'll do the Perlman Acting Academy. Great school. Joseph Perlman is the man. Check him out. I'll put a link or something on him too. He does this thing called The Hook. Phenomenal. Definitely well worth the money if you're going to go train with him. I think he's amazing. The Hook is this whole setup that you do before you ask yourself these questions to get yourself lit up. So when you start the scene, if you're for my first line is, I'm not going to say the first line because it's an audition that actually I have to do this soon. So, but let's say the audition, the line is like, I have to run to the office, right? So you don't want to start saying like, I have to run to the office. Or maybe you're going to say, I'm going to come in very exacerbated or very tired. I have to run to the office. Like, good. You can say it to the point, right? But in many sense. But the hook is like, you think that, what am I feeling? Who am I? What's the best day of my life? The worst day? Like, you do this whole talk thing. And then once you get lit up, hey, I have to run to the office. Like, what happened? I got to go. So you put that. So now I spent an hour and a half on the Linden technique on my script. Then I know that I'm going to spend maybe 30 minutes prior to the scene start to do the hook. I'm also going to prepare that while I'm doing the scene, I'm going to listen and just play moments to moments, right? Then I'll also add, I took John Markman, 5-day intensive leading male, leading lady class. Awesome. Talks about vulnerability, shame. It's really intense class. I'd highly recommend it. I'll apply that into the script. So what makes me feel shame about this? Now, you may be thinking to yourself, bro, that's way too much shit to add. Like, for 4 lines, or worse, like, to every audition you do all of that? Here's the kicker. Why would a chef go, I'm going to cook meals tonight, but do I have to use salt, pepper, and paprika and this? Can I just use a little bit of thyme and some whatever? And I don't know. Obviously, hey, guess who doesn't know how to cook? I know a little bit. But again, a chef comes in and has everything in his disposal. This is everything I have. Good. I'm going to make what? Who wants what? You want beef? let me think about something. And you put what you can. Again, you don't have to use all 15 steps in the Linden technique. Maybe I'll use 9. Maybe you don't have to use every moment to moment to moment to moment for each line, right? With Meisner. But at least the first line. If she says, I love you, I need to feel and hear. Maybe the next couple lines, I may not play moment to moment. I don't know why you wouldn't. But of course, if you didn't train that, that's fine. You don't have that in your disposal. No, nothing's wrong with that, right? But if you've learned something, here's a good kicker. Here's a great way of saying, okay, what can I add? If it's in your resume, put it in your fucking performances. You studied 2 years in Meisner, and I know Meisner, I'm gonna look at your performance and be like, I better see some Meisner in there. It's okay if the person who's like, I'm an actor. I know what we're looking for. It's okay if the audience don't know. But remember, we're talking to people who do know this shit. Casting directors know about these classes. At least they probably take it on themselves. They're actors themselves, most of them, right? Directors know some of this shit too. They've all taken classes. At least they've spoken to acting coaches and extensively, at least for the most part. And they've worked with enough actors to know they've learned, they picked up a thing or two. So they'll see, right? What if you went to 4 years of some school, I don't know, NYU, there's a program, they know those programs. We know those programs, what they teach there. Right? If you went to the Zach Barnett Studio, another one, great school. Highly recommend. They teach in the core class, they teach you core. 5 genres: procedurals, mixed media, single cam comedy, multi-cam comedy, drama. If I know you went to that class and I'm auditioning you for a procedural and you don't display it, like at least some of the training, because I know what you have to know what you've been taught, you put in the class. Apply it. If you pick up a scene and it says, "Oh, this is a single cam comedy," apply the techniques you've learned. Don't just go in there. Don't go into an audition just saying, "Oh, what I've already learned acting, I kind of know a lot what I'm doing, so let me just memorize my lines, do this for 2 hours of memorization, come to you and then do my thing." I'll tell you why. That's the worst thing to do. When you come into an audition to just memorize your lines and you come in here memorized, you look like black and white. You look like this. This is how you look. You look like lines, right? You know, Sydney, hey, I was getting worried about you. Where were you going to go? Oh, no, I didn't know that was going to happen. What happened if I were there? And you're telling me that Michael wasn't showing up? You look like a black and white fucking line. You don't, and you may think you're so clever. You may think you're the cleverest. Superlative, right, Meisner? You may think you're the most cleverest. But all you're really doing, you may think you're the most cleverest by like, well, okay, but I learned my lines, but I also do a lot of like pizzazzy things. I do like kind of cool things like, hey man, I saw you coming out to my thing, you know, where are you? We can see right through that, bro. Yeah, okay, so hey, so I saw you were coming late. Like, oh, because you unbuckled your shirt, you acted better? Is that what it was? They're putting millions of dollars into these projects, guys. What is wrong with my hair? They're putting millions of dollars. Look great. They're putting millions of dollars to these projects. Start acting like $1 million. Start. Not put everything you've ever. I'm like, all my auditions have to look like it's like a madman went through it. Like they all have to look like crazy man did. Now, that's just my style. I'm whatever. That's my style. Do I get all the gigs in the world? No, I don't know why. It's insane. But it doesn't matter to me. To an actor, it shouldn't matter if you get all the gigs. It matters if you're constantly producing good work. It's gonna happen eventually. It's just gonna happen. That's just how it works. But if you're putting 4% of work in every time you do an audition, you're averaging 4%. Sometimes you might go to 8, and sometimes you might do 2. It's gonna take you like 600 years by the time you fucking make it. But if you're putting 100% every time, 110%, 120%, come on, you're gonna book. You're gonna book good gigs too. You're gonna be on TV. That's easy. That's fact. That's nothing. That's the easy part. The hard part is this: is doing this shit, doing the work. To finalize it, the work is everything you've ever learned in acting applied. Don't shy. Don't do less. If anything, overdo, right? Overdo it. Don't minimize the strength of your performances over some minute things like research. I got these little card things here, like these are things that I also apply, right? Research, right? Image, map, music. What is map out your character's blogging? What's the events? Make a timeline of your scene. The 3 lists. This is the most extensive. I know many actors heard about this 1,000 times. The 3 lists. We all hear it. People don't want to do it. What does my character say about everyone else? What does everyone say about my character? And what does my character say about themselves? You make these 3 massive lists throughout the whole script. If you're only doing a side, whatever. They're like, oh, it's just 1 page. So do it. Oh, but I don't need to do it. Okay. Don't do it. You're not getting better. You're not going to miraculously just get massive jobs because you memorizing lines for 6 years. That's not going to happen. That's not how it works, papi. Mommy, you got to buckle down. Take it seriously. We look at these actors and they're making money and they're hanging out and they're parties and this and that. They've earned that. They do the work. They do the work. Don't let them kid you. They do the work. Matt did this. They do the work. There's a lot of videos you can watch out there on acting. If you watch the video on YouTube, apply it. Don't just look at it. Oh, I watched this video or I read this book. People love to say, oh, I read the Stanislavski's book. Then why did you come to my audition and apply nothing of it? Anything of it? I mean, I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying, but you said you've done that. You did those things. Why are you not doing this? Well, I don't have to do it in this audition. Okay, don't do it. Come here with your lines memorized and shoot for the stars. Do the work.